Old Trafford has always been a place where songs roar with history, where voices rise not just in celebration, but in pure, unfiltered emotion. And in the most recent match, a new chant echoed through the Theatre of Dreams, dedicated to a goalkeeper making his debut in the Manchester United shirt. When Senne Lammens came flying off his line to catch a dangerous Sunderland cross, the Stretford end erupted in unison. "Are you Peter Schmeichel in disguise?" The chant rolled through the stands, half in disbelief, half in delight. It wasn't just about that one save. It was a collective sigh of relief, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, Old Trafford had finally found a keeper who could make them feel safe again. Sure, it's still early days and no one's handing out crowns after one performance, but try telling that to fans who've been craving a sense of calm between the posts for years. The signing of Lammens itself came under rather unusual circumstances. After more than a year of quiet scouting, United finally pulled the trigger on deadline day, paying £18.2 million to bring the 23-year-old Belgian from Royal Antwerp to England. It wasn't one of those transfer sagas plastered across headlines all summer. Far from it. In truth, the deal was driven by frustration. Both Altay Bayındır and Andre Onana had stumbled badly at the start of the season, their errors piling up until confidence, both theirs and the fans, completely crumbled. Even Peter Schmeichel himself, the man whose name now echoes in the stands, was skeptical when the deal went through. He admitted, "Lammens could turn out to be the best signing ever, but right now it feels like a hopeful one." And he wasn't wrong. For a club still trying to rediscover its identity, putting faith in a relative unknown carried no shortage of risk. But in a bold move after a bruising 3-1 defeat to Brentford, manager Ruben Amorim decided the Sunderland match would be the moment to hand Senne Lammens his Manchester United debut. What followed at Old Trafford felt like a cleansing of the gloom that had hung over the club in recent weeks. United won 2-0, easing the pressure on Amorim heading into the international break and igniting genuine excitement around their new Belgian goalkeeper. Mason Mount opened the scoring with a cool, clinical finish. Benjamin Šeško doubled the lead with his first home goal in red. For the first 40 minutes, Lammens barely had to lift a finger, but when he was finally tested, he responded like a man who'd been doing this for years. In the 44th minute, Granit Xhaka unleashed a long-range strike that seemed destined to trouble him, yet Lammens sprang low to his right, parrying the ball away to thunderous applause. Moments later came the save that truly won over the crowd. A wicked curling cross from Sunderland met calmly by Lammens, who read it perfectly and snatched it out of the air despite an onrushing striker. It was the kind of commanding moment Old Trafford hadn't witnessed in far too long. Under Bayındır and Onana, such plays often ended in chaos, or worse, in goals conceded that left fans shaking their heads. But with Lammens, for the first time in months, they felt that rare sense of trust. A keeper who owned his box, who made high balls look routine again. When the final whistle blew, United had their first clean sheet of the season. Lammens didn't have to make a dozen highlight saves, but his presence spoke volumes. His communication, his footwork, his calm distribution, all of it hinted at maturity beyond his years. After the match, Amorim reflected, "I think he looks confident in the first game, but the important thing is that the teammates helped Senne to have a good game, because everyone was focused, not a lot of mistakes, against a team that was really comfortable playing football. So, we did well, it was a good day for us." When Senne arrived here, first of all, Altay was playing, and then he arrives and you can feel it, that he needs to adapt. New country, new training, the pressure that you guys put on the goalkeepers are massive. One of the most striking aspects of Manchester United's win over Sunderland was how Ruben Amorim instructed Senne Lammens to distribute the ball. Unlike Altay Bayındır, who often preferred short passes to build from the back, Lammens was told to go long, and he did so with precision and intent. According to the stats, a staggering 86.4% of his 44 passes were long deliveries, compared to Bayındır's season average of just 56.5%. It was no coincidence. Sunderland were pressing high, and Amorim knew that direct balls from the goalkeeper could bypass that pressure, minimize risk, and unleash United's pace up front. Even Sunderland's manager, Régis Lebris, admitted afterward that his side couldn't cope when United played that vertical, fast-paced football. The approach perfectly suited Amorim's philosophy, and it also showcased one of Lammens' biggest strengths, his accuracy with long passes. With him in goal, United can now switch seamlessly between possession play and a more direct approach without sacrificing defensive security. Of course, if we're nitpicking, Lammens' debut wasn't flawless. There was a heart-stopping moment when he rushed out to close down Bertrand Traoré near the edge of the box, and a brief misunderstanding with Bruno Fernandes almost led to disaster. But those were minor blips in what was otherwise a composed, mature performance. For 90 minutes, he radiated calm, something Old Trafford hadn't truly felt since David de Gea's prime years. In the closing moments, as Sunderland threw everything forward, Lammens capped off his debut with another commanding catch, leaping through traffic to claim a dangerous cross, followed by a sharp save with his foot to deny Kemsdijn Talbi. Each intervention drew louder cheers, as if every touch was slowly restoring faith in the badge between the posts. When the final whistle blew, it was a scene drenched in nostalgia. Matthijs de Ligt sprinted over to embrace Lammens, followed by Maguire and Shaw. The crowd rose to their feet, applauding the young Belgian whose composure had reminded them what it feels like to trust a goalkeeper again. It wasn't just applause for a solid debut. It was the sound of hope returning to Old Trafford after far too many nights spent waiting for it. Of course, it's far too soon to declare Senne Lammens the long-awaited answer to Manchester United's goalkeeping dilemma. Ahead of him looms a massive challenge, a trip to Anfield to face reigning champions Liverpool right after the international break, the same ground where United have conceded 10 goals in their last 4 Premier League visits. The 2-0 victory over Sunderland offered Amorim and his players some much-needed breathing space. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Amorim may not have changed his tactical system, but he showed he's not afraid to make bold personnel calls. Bayindir was dropped after a string of shaky displays, while Onana, struggling under the weight of expectation, had already been sent out on loan. And now Lammens has brought a breath of fresh air to the position. For a fan base long conditioned to flinch at every cross, every long shot, every high ball, the Belgians' composure felt like something new, something worth believing in. One game doesn't make a career, but it can spark a feeling, and that's exactly what Lammens did. Still, Amorim knows better than anyone that one good night at Old Trafford won't solve Manchester United's deeper issues. The team's biggest problem remains its inconsistency, the inability to perform away from home. He didn't sugarcoat it after the Sunderland win. There is no momentum with our team, so without a break, we know what happened when we win one game. And then for me, the frustration is not to see the same team at home and away. If Amorim wants to truly convince the board and the fans that he's the man to lead United's revival, he needs more than flashes of promise. He needs a run, a real one. Because after Liverpool comes a brutal stretch: Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham Hotspur, Everton, and Crystal Palace. This next month could define his tenure, almost a year since he took charge, tasked with restoring belief to a club that has forgotten how to dream. The hope now for every soul at Old Trafford is that the Red Devils have finally found their spark again, and that Senne Lammens can live up to the faith his first performance inspired.